That's right.
What first and foremost, when you saw the headline come across, and I feel like we all felt it coming, Popovich obviously had that mild stroke in November. He has not been coaching the Spurs since then. We knew the end was near for Pop. I didn't think we had watched him coach his final game already, but when you saw that headline, what was one of the first emotions that overcame you?
Oh, I don't know that I had any kind of emotion because it felt like we were always headed in this direction, right? You know, Wembanyama's been in the league now for a couple of years, and so you wanted Popovich to be the like. There was the possibility that he was going to step down before they selected Wembanyama, and then when he decided not, it's like, okay, so he's going to be there just to establish everything. Great. And eventually, you got to move over certainly to someone young, which certainly Mitch Johnson is. But then when he has the stroke and he never returns to the sidelines this season, it's like, all right, he's also, of an age where he doesn't need to be coaching anymore. So, yeah, I didn't greet it really with any kind of emotion. It felt like it was something we all knew was going to wind up being the case. The time has come.
He's just so important to the NBA, and he also just, for my entirety of, obviously the entirety of my life for real, but then also of my consciousness and following as a fan of the NBA, he's been such a stronghold. So there's a lot of respect that comes when you think about the name of Pop, but then also I was kind of pining for the days of seeing Wembanyama ball out in an actual way, like when they're actually contending and Pop being on the bench for that. Now we'll have to see what Mitch Johnson's made out of. But this ain't about Mitch, and of course it's about Pop, but it's more so as Heat fans here, I start thinking about Erik Spoelstra. Through 17 seasons, he's only missed the playoffs 3 times. I did the math. Are you interested in seeing, because people are calling the Pop wins record unbreakable. And I'm like, Spo's like, 53, 55 years old? He ain't that, he got some time.
I think he's 55 or 56.
Yeah, so he's got time. He's got at least another 10, 15 years.
How many wins is he behind?
So Erik Spoelstra is currently 636 wins behind Pop. It's actually 635. He needs 636 wins to break the record. And I did the math. He has been winning 46 games per year.
Okay, so let's do some division there.
Okay.
All right, so how many years are we talking then?
So at a rate of 46 wins per year, and by the way, if the Heat want to reach that, they're going to have to go star hunting pretty damn soon. But at a rate of 46 wins per year, I did a little dividing, a little conquering, and 13.8 is the number I came up with. So I believe 14 full seasons of Erik Spoelstra coaching with the Heat, and he would surpass the record. Do you
I don't think he gets there.
You don't think he does 14 more years?
No,
wow.
I don't think he gets there. Number one, I think 46 is a really high number to use as the average, all right? We just saw they won 37 this year, so if they have another year where they win 37, then you have to have a, what are we talking, a 54, win season to make up for it, all right? So I think 46 is a pretty high number to average out for the next 14 years, but more importantly, I don't think he's going to be coaching until he's, what are we talking?
68.
70, almost 70.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be coaching until then, because I don't think in that amount of time, in 14 years from now, I don't think Pat Riley is still going to be the president of the team. I would imagine by then Erik Spoelstra has slid into, probably that role in a full-time capacity. And, he gets someone younger the same way Pat Riley got someone younger to take over the coaching game. I don't think Spo's going to be the coach of this team for another 14 years. And that's certainly not because I don't think I think he's going to be fired, or I don't think he's going to be good enough anymore. I just think there's eventually going to be a transition when Riley is no longer as president, the same way that Riley transitioned from coach to the role that he's currently in. So I don't believe he's going to pass him, no.
I wouldn't be against that. What I would say is, when I look at the number 14, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a career, like an NBA player's career, especially if it is a very important one to your franchise. And when I think about 14 to 15 next more years with the Miami Heat, and I think about them trying to win at that high of a clip, which also would likely include maybe a championship or two, it just reminds me that the Heat need to go star hunting again. Like, what would revive and also help prolong Spo's coaching life on the bench, if he wants to do so, is the injection of a young star that the Heat can actually rally around. And it's clear we don't have that on the current roster between Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. It's clear that this offseason, and we'll see based on the tone of on our guy Pat Riley if they're going to actually go big fish hunting and try to bring somebody in here at least for the short term. I just would be absolutely devastated if the Heat end up doing Spo like the Steelers have done Mike Tomlin, and that's let him go a good 5-6 years where he has no fighting chance at competing at the highest level in his profession because he does not have a star. Tomlin ain't got a franchise quarterback. Spo ain't got a number one option.
Right. Well, that has still never been the case. Erik Spoelstra took over the team, for the 2009 season where they immediately made the playoffs back-to-back years. Then they got LeBron, they got Chris Bosh, and away we go. And they've never missed the playoffs in consecutive years under Erik Spoelstra. And it was only 2 years ago they were in the NBA Finals, all right? So, and by the way, like this year was awful, but they did still make the playoffs this year. Nonetheless, I don't want to try and sugarcoat it.
Okay? They didn't make the playoffs this year.
No, it was awful. I don't want to try and sugarcoat it. But the point that I'm making is they're, we have not seen that. Like, there's no reason to believe that the team is going to put him in a position where it's been 4 or 5 years where they're just this middling team. And okay, you can go point to the Heat's record for the last 2 years, but they were in the finals in 2023. And we learned at this point that one of the negatives about having Jimmy Butler is he kind of doesn't try during the regular season, okay? And that's where you see, wow, they've been a playing team for, what are we talking, 23, 24, 25, 3 consecutive seasons, right? And we know the reason why. So I get what you're saying, but there's no reason to believe, based on all of the history and evidence we have in front of us, that the Heat are going to put the coach in that kind of position where we're talking several years in a row of just being a nothing team.
Right. And you know what? I'm going to hope for the best and feel that they are going to find that next guy to plug in the gap again. People didn't believe Jimmy was that guy when the Heat went and got him that offseason. He ended up becoming that. I believe it can happen. A team in South Florida that does have that guy?
Oh, yes. Woo-wee! Those are my dogs. The Cats are my dogs.
Yeah, I like that.
The Cats are my dogs.
Florida Panthers, Maple Leafs. That's what we're getting in the second round. I believe a spot that people can jump in and watch the Florida Panthers, a little Yingling action, huh? Well, little Yingling Panthers.
Look, let's talk about Yingling here, all right? America's oldest brewery, proud sponsor of the Florida Panthers. Yingling Traditional Lager, it's a beer that, like true legends, legends like Alexander Barkov and Sergei Bobrovsky and Sam Reinhart and Matthew Tkachuk, like true legends. It's a beer that stands the test of time, brewed by the same family for nearly 200 years. It's a crisp lager with the bold, smooth taste that is perfect for a Panther game day. Whether you're cheering from the stands or you're watching from your favorite bar, or maybe like me, you're in the Zaslow Mansion. Yingling is the taste of tradition. Yingling, legends stand the test of time.